Welcome back, everybody. Today we'll be discussing the Jordan 3 Black Cement. Specifically, we'll be discussing whether you should sell or hold the Jordan 3 Black Cement if you cop from the shock drop and why that is. Now, when these shock drop, they did load 15 minutes early like most big general releases, but there will be 2 shock drops coming soon that won't have this warning. As always, we're going to post all the early info inside of Endurance, which you could join with the link below for much more than sneaker reselling. You could even get free Chick-fil-A meals there too in the free Discord on the same link, so check it out. For those who don't know, the Jordan 3 Black Cement had an early shock drop today, and the full release will be on November 23rd. A pretty large portion of the stock dropped, but we'll see even more drop on the full release. As of me making this video, it is currently November 14th, the day of the shock drop. The average post-shock drop price for sizes 8 to 12 is currently $272. Currently, these prices make these profitable only in sizes 11.5 and above, which is what we recommended everyone to go for. If you have no tax, those sizes allow for some pretty easy small profit to lunch money, and if you do have tax, you could still make a couple of dollars profit or more if you sell them locally. However, as always, they will continue to drop in value as shipments go out and more pairs go into circulation as we lead up to the drop. But following the main drop, a pattern usually occurs where they actually increase in value for a brief period. So the question then becomes, should you sell right now or wait until after the main release during that brief period where they go up in value? Basically, what happens is a large portion of the market holds out until the main release to see if they could cop for retail, and when they don't, a large amount of buyers are then injected into the market, causing the price to surge a bit. That's just a brief rundown of what essentially happens almost every time with these main releases that have shock drops beforehand. When it comes to these, I think the best comparison would be the Jordan 3 Reimagined, since those had a similar amount of demand, stock, and shock drop pattern too. Although, of course, the market was quite a bit different back then, we'll try to treat these proportionally. But basically, the pattern is the same. The price is high at first, it drops as pairs go into circulation from the shock drop, then on the actual drop, they jump back up for a day from everyone who missed out, but not quite as much as they initially were. And so, this leaves you in an interesting position. What's the best financial decision I could make with all this fluctuation? Well, it's actually going to be different for everyone. Why is this? Because you're all going to receive your shipments and thus be able to sell them at different times, meaning some of you are going to get your pairs super early before prices have fallen a ton, and others will get pairs when prices have already bottomed out to their trough. So, if you get your pairs super early, it would probably be in your best interest to sell them now. So, at these prices you see right now today, the 14th, if one of your sizes is going for around $290, it's probably in your best interest to sell these now. Or if you know for a fact, based off of Nike's pattern with shipping to you, if you get these within the next day or two, you're probably best selling these now, because most platforms do allow 2 business days, and today being Thursday, the next day being Friday, and then we have Saturday, Sunday, so you actually have quite a lot of time considering it's 2 business days, not just 2 days in general that you get. These are all things to consider when you want to maximize profit, especially if you have multiple pairs. Now, if you get your shipment later, then you might want to wait for the post-drop impulsivity effect, because I definitely can see it being possible with these for at least 5 to 10% from whatever they are before the drop. And I will make a full long-term seller hold video the day before the drop with more precise resale estimates, so make sure you subscribe and enable post notifications for that. Now, for some estimates, we saw the Jordan 3 Reimagined drop from about 400 to 310 following their shock drop, and before the main release, a pretty noticeable decrease. Now, of course, the market was very different back then than it is now. When it comes to these are already very low at 271 on average. Now, if these were to react exactly proportionally, they drop below retail on average, but I don't see that being the case, and I wouldn't expect them to react exactly proportionally. There's a lot more variables at play. Nonetheless, I'd still expect a pretty decent decrease over the next few days, maybe bringing the average to 250. That doesn't mean those big sizes are going to get to 250. They might be closer to 265 to 270, but the average overall from 8 to 12 will be around 250 potentially. With that said, if you have your pairs very early and you can get anywhere above 280 for your size, I'd say just sell them now. But if by the time you get your pairs are already below 280, maybe your pair is 275, then I'd suggest waiting until the main drop and selling after the potential price spike around 11 a.m. on the 23rd. And again, hopefully you guys went for sizes 11.5 and above as I suggested, because the smaller sizes are already pretty much bricks unless you're selling locally. And I really would encourage you to try to sell these locally, because this is going to be one of the easiest movers. There's a ton of people who aren't tapped into the market who still want this pair because it's such an iconic pair of Jordans. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. I wanted to make this explanation simple and concise. Hopefully it's easy for you guys to understand. This is the pattern that typically occurs with these general release shock drops. Also, be sure to check out Endurance with the link in the description below if you're looking for a profitable side hustle that goes beyond just sneaker reselling. There's so much more ways to make money online. Subscribe and enable post notifications to stay 100% updated and for that full seller hold video the day before the drop. And follow my Twitter, KeithAdam10, to get urgent notifications like the one for the shock drop today. With that though, have a fantastic rest of your day. Congrats if you copped, or good luck if you're watching this before the final drop.